Hello, everyone. This is Tim. This month, we're reading The Making of America. And I'm going to read you the Bill of Rights. It's a simple thing, but some people may not know it, or may need a refresher on it, or may need to know clarity what it actually says. So, the Bill of Rights in brief. Like the Declaration of Independence and the main text of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights has not only served Americans well, but has also been employed as a guide for democracies around the world in defining the relationships between citizens, their government, and the rule of law. Many of the hot button issues that divide Americans in the 21st century, from freedom of speech to prayer in the schools to gun control, are addressed in this document, which is now more than 2 centuries old. First Amendment. In unmistakably clear language, Congress shall make no law. This powerful amendment guarantees 6 basic liberties. So this is not the actual Bill of Rights, but this is an explanation about the Bill of Rights. This powerful amendment guarantees 6 basic liberties for Americans: freedom of speech and the press, freedom of religion and the separation of the church and state, the right to assemble peacefully, and the right to petition the government to address grievances. And the Second Amendment provides for the right to bear arms. Legal scholars still debate whether this right was meant to apply only to the now defunct state militias that once made up the bulk of U.S. armed forces, or is a general authorization to possess weapons for personal use. So I thought it was the Bill of Rights. It's explanations of the Bill of Rights. You can get the Bill of Rights anyway. You can read it. Third Amendment. Now dated and irrelevant, this amendment forbids the government to house soldiers in private homes during peacetime without the consent of the owner. May come back. You never know. This COVID thing is bringing up a lot of weird things about. We haven't seen, well, New York City has soldiers after 9/11, but you haven't seen soldiers in your street yet, but you may. Fourth Amendment protects against arbitrary searches of persons, houses, papers, and effects, and bans police from conducting many kinds of search without a court-issued warrant based on probable cause that a crime has been committed and that a search will yield significant evidence. They don't really care. Usually with black people, they just bust in our homes and do whatever they want. So that's a right we're supposed to have, but I don't know, everybody doesn't have it. Fifth Amendment, granting all citizens the right to due process of law. This amendment guarantees that Americans can't be put on trial for a major crime until a grand jury has indicted them, that prosecutors can't try citizens again for the same crime after a prior acquittal, and that the government can't force a citizen to testify against himself. So a lot of times, if prosecutors think that they're not going to win, they won't bring a case because they'll come back later and try you. Or they could be trying you and think they're going to win. They might drop the charges. That doesn't mean you're free. Only acquittals would mean you're free as far as those charges. Okay. Sixth Amendment ensures that those accused of serious crimes have a right to review the charges, to be represented by legal counsel, and to be tried before an impartial jury in a proceeding that is swift, public, and near the location of the offense. Also ensures the right to confront and question witnesses. We don't really get good lawyers if you don't have money, so you get lawyers but not good ones. Trying someone close to where the offense happened can be bad in a way. If a lot of attention has been attention on the case, jury pools can be corrupted. Also, I'm not sure if there's any impartial people, because to be impartial, you have to be very thoughtful. And Americans are just very conditioned by media. So I'm not sure you would ever get an impartial person or a person that cares about law. Seventh Amendment extends the right of a trial by jury to civil cases in which the value in controversy shall exceed $20. Interesting. Eighth Amendment limits the government's ability to punish. Bails and fines cannot be excessive, and punishments cannot be cruel and unusual. Well, life for black men is cruel and unusual, but that's another thing for another time. Acknowledges that the Ninth Amendment acknowledges that the list of rights contained in the first 8 amendments is not all inclusive and establishes that the people retain other unspecified rights not mentioned in the Constitution. And the 10th Amendment reserves every right or power not prohibited by the Constitution but not specifically granted to the federal government. For the individual states and for the people, many have argued that this amendment seems so broad and self-evident as to be meaningless, including the U.S. Supreme Court, which observed in a 1931 decision that the 10th Amendment added nothing to the Constitution. As we can see with this corona thing, different states are doing different things. So states are breaking away more and more as our federal government just becomes weaker and weaker. And it's not the president, it's the weakness of the Congress to actually put forth policy that helps the people. States are doing a lot more things on their own. So, for instance, New York has free university for its residents. If you go to CUNY University or SUNY, so they have free public school that Sanders talks about. New York already has that. I'm pretty sure states are going to start doing Medicaid for all, because Medicaid is a state thing. Medicare is a federal. So you're going to start seeing Medicaid for all in some states. It's just going to be easier. It's cheaper. And with the COVID, it's better to have people under treatment than just people homeless, laying around, walking around without treatment, walking around without health care. So that was explanations of the Bill of Rights. And you can get the Bill of Rights anywhere. I'm more than likely going to read them at some point. But I wanted to put that out there so that people understand, because people argue about the Bill of Rights all the time in our faces, and it's good to refresh ourselves to see what they're about. So go read them. That's your homework assignment, and see if these explanations jibe with what you understand from the actual text. Until next time, thank you for your support. Take care of your mind, take care of your body, and be safe.